folks wanted. You think they're undaunted in the desert? Think again. Game 2 coming.
The following is an exclusive presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Back we go to the desert, where the oasis has been found by the New York Mets. No parched throats here for a team that has all the reason to feel the heat. Game 1, the Fonz provided the early quencher. So did John Olerud. And by 4-4 in the ninth, they had cooled down the big unit. Bases juiced. So was Edgardo Alfonzo. Rip to left. Will it stay fair? Back it goes. It's gone. A grand slam. They are the amazing Mets once again. So now the heat is on the Diamondbacks. One more false move and they know the odds of returning home are thornier than the largest saguaro. All eyes are upon Game 2. Welcome back in the wee hours of the morning, perhaps, or in prime time out west, but we've got a prime time game. The roof open again at the Bob for Game 2 of the National League Divisional Series between the New York Mets and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hello once again, everybody. I'm Chris Berman. So glad you could be with us. The joint jumping again, and now a little urgency here because the story of October, the New York Mets, continues. Left for dead at the end of September. The Mets now 5 for 5 in October, and if you consider their playoff win against Cincinnati Monday night and their 8-4 win here last night, 18 innings of baseball, 15 innings they led, 3 of them they were tied. Point, they were never behind. They came out the aggressor. Working with me, as always, my aggressor is Ray Knight. And Ray, we saw it last night with a home run right away, first inning by Alfonzo. They came out hacking against Randy Johnson. Will they come out hacking against a normal fireballer, Todd Stottlemyre, tonight, do you think?
I don't think so, Chris. The forte of the New York Mets is getting good pitches to hit. High on-base percentage. Ricky Henderson sets that off. Todd Stottlemyre and he have had some epic battles. 3 home runs Ricky Henderson has hit. Left-handers have a tough time. He has a tough time getting left-handers out. So you have to go deep in the count. He moves that fastball in off the plate, tries a backdoor with breaking balls. So you're going to see the Mets go deep in the count, get good balls to hit him the other way.
The Arizona Diamondbacks won 100 games, so you would figure that one loss they wouldn't panic. From July 20th on, they went 51-17, an incredible 750 clip. But once they passed the Giants, even though the Giants were nipping at their heels till the middle of September, they didn't have a, quote, must-win. Buck Martinez is on the field, and Buck, this is their first must-win game, maybe of this magnitude, certainly all year long. Do you sense anything different in the D-backs tonight that we did not see last night?
Not a thing, Chris. The D-backs have been professional all year long, and they've had some rough spells. You remember a road trip back to Cincinnati and St. Louis. They had a couple of real tough late-inning losses, but this is a character ball club. The Mets have played playoff atmosphere type of baseball now for about a week, and you could see that last night. Maybe the Diamondbacks were a little bit excited about their first playoff game. They've got that game under their belt, and it's very important because going against Kenny Rogers tonight, you have to have a good approach. You've got to be patient and try to take him the other way. If they try to pull him, they'll play right into his hand and hit a lot of ground balls.
All right, Buck, thank you. Rogers has made 12 starts as a New York Mets since coming over from Oakland. They are 10-2 in his starts. So, Todd Stottlemyre, his mission, should he choose to accept it, quiet down the Messieurs October of Alfonzo, Olerud and company. Mets Diamondbacks Game 2 coming up.
ESPN's coverage of the divisional playoffs is brought to you by Claritin and by Conseco.
Roof was closed during batting practice. It's open now where the balls flew out here last night, more often for the New York Mets. Bobby Valentine's team perfect in October, and here is his lineup tonight. Our Pepsi lineup and a couple of changes, although at the beginning you know that Ricky Henderson is going to lead off and play left field. Edgardo Alfonzo, 8 RBIs come Monday and Tuesday combined, hitting second. John Olerud hitting third. Mike Piazza hitting cleanup. Robin Ventura Highway moves up to 5th in the order. Darrell Hamilton in center field for Dunston. That's 6. Roger Cedeno in right field for Akbayani, who started last night hitting 7th. Ray Ordonez, the shortstop. Kenny Rogers, the gambler, hitting 9th against the right-hander, who eschewed surgery this year for rotator cuff, a partial tear, Todd Stottlemyre. It's an amazing story that he's even on the mound, and he is a gamer making his 15th postseason appearance, Ray.
Yeah, he is. He has a fastball, a curveball, slider, changeup. Talking to the Arizona Diamondbacks about him, they said that he's a great gamer. Actually, when he went to have his shoulder checked, he flew after having it checked. Saw Dr. Yoakum, who told him I can't guarantee if we operate that you're going to ever get to pitch again. He went and flew and joined his team for 3 or 4 days and said, I just don't want to be away from this. It's a special situation, and let's get going. So he got back out there.
And here he is. I mean, it's an amazing, he built up muscles around his rotator cuff and his legs so that he would take the wear and tear off. And when they say a partial tear of the rotator cuff as he faces Ricky Henderson, who hits it to right field, but drawing a beat on it is Bernard Gilkey. There is 1 out. We'll give you the defense in a minute, but let's finish the Stottlemyre story so we lay it out clear. Ray, a partial tear in his case was 3/4 tear.
Yeah.
But yet he says, I'm 34 years old. I might never really come back. And so I'm going to take this gamble. And when he came back on August 20th after injuring it on May 17th against San Francisco, it was a loss against Pittsburgh, but it was a win for him and for the team. And you've known him a long time.
I sure have.
He is as big a battler as they come, and that kind of underscores the way that he is back on the mound. But he's got a battle on his hands right here with Edgardo Alfonzo. 2 home runs last night. Saw the win the first, grand slam in the 9th. 5 RBIs against these Diamondbacks yesterday. But we just admire Stottlemyre even being out there and pitching well. But as we watch tonight, he won't have the velocity probably that we've grown accustomed to seeing him throughout his career.
What he has is a heart as big as this ballpark. No one that I've been around, I've known Todd since he was probably 17, 18 years old when his dad was a pitching coach with the Mets when I played with him over there. And the man has always been a tremendous worker, great work ethic. But you see there, 92 miles an hour is about where he is, 89 to 92. Sometimes he'll get up to 93, 94 when he has that adrenaline flowing. He's one of those guys that's very hyperactive in his mind. And sometimes it's hard for him to settle down.
There's a breaking ball that up top to Alfonzo. It's 2-2.
But you're going to see the big thing with him is he works up, north, south, with his fastball, east and west with his fastball, a big curveball, a slider that is his favorite pitch to throw, then a changeup. Very difficult to set on any pitch. He'll throw any pitch in any count.
Ground ball to Jay Bell. Over to Greg Colburn at first base, and the 2 out. And for the first time in 3 games, Edgardo Alfonzo did not hit a home run in the first inning. A couple of changes tonight defensively for the Diamondbacks. Womack goes to short, Ray.
Yeah, Buck Showalter talked to us about that. This is his 19th game at shortstop. He's done a great job there. Very difficult for a corner outfielder to go to that spot. I have not seen that very often. And in my lifetime, where a guy that plays on the corner moves in and plays such a special position like shortstop, has done a great job, the great range. An infielder with the Pirates, second baseman. But Buck Showalter says that he is one reason, because of his willingness to go to another position, this ball club is so successful.
John Olerud is up. Olerud 3 for 5 last night, 2 for 5 against the Reds Monday night. So 5 hits in these postseason games for him so far. The other changes that you saw, to righty lefty platoon. So Greg Colburn is at first base, not Rubio Durazo, despite the fact that Durazo hit an opposite field home run. So Colburn is at first. And with Womack at short, Gilkey goes to right, and Hanley Frias, last night's shortstop, sits. So those are the changes that you have. Meanwhile, pitching for the Mets, man that came over in late July, Kenny Rogers, hoping to get what, well, his pitching staff has gotten the last few games. Runs to work with. Olerud fouls it back, and now the count is 3-2.
Talking to John Olerud, as you look at last night's pitcher, Yoshi, John Olerud said that when he faced Todd Stottlemyre the last time, Todd threw him all fastball away, and then when he got to 3-2, would throw changeups away. So let's see what he does here. Comes right in with a fastball, and that's what John said. You know, I don't know if he's going to change. He got me out successfully away. I'm going to go up there looking away and make him make the adjustment, because I think I can hit the ball the opposite way off of him. Mentioned earlier, 312 this year left-handed hitters off of Todd Stottlemyre. Right-handers only 235. So a marked difference between the left-handers and the right-handers. Todd just does not feel that he has an out pitch for those left-handed hitters.
So that'll bring up Mike Piazza, who, when the Mets were going badly, was really the one big bat. Those games against Atlanta, he was hitting home runs. But now that the other Mets bats, Ventura, Olerud, Alfonso, have jumped to attention here in October, Mike struggling a little. Yesterday, Mike was 1 for 5. And in the playoff on Monday against the Cincinnati Reds, he was 0 for 2. So 1 for 7 in these postseason games thus far. And I know it's a regular season game, really. Let's just, for our purposes, call it postseason. Here's a strike from Stottlemyre. It's 1-1.
Well, I talked to him tonight 15 minutes before the ball game, Chris, and he said that he's been pulling the ball too much tonight. He's going to try to hit the ball to right center field. So let's look for that. Let's see if he drives the ball the other way.
He does not. Ground ball that's gobbled up at short by Womack to flip to Bell on an uneventful first inning for the New York Mets for the first time this week. We head to the bottom of the first here in Phoenix with the Diamondbacks coming to bat. Bottom of the first, nothing doing for the Mets. The Diamondbacks getting ready to bat here in Phoenix. Chris Berman, Ray Knight, and Buck Martinez. And welcome to those of you that just may be joining us who watched the Cleveland Indians on a one-out base hit in the bottom of the ninth for Travis Fryman beat the Red Sox 3-2, and Pedro Martinez had to leave with the lead with a back strain in the middle innings. So the Indians doing something they rarely do, winning a first game of a postseason series, and they win that in game 2. Will be tomorrow at the J. Our Pepsi Diamondback lineup sent out by Buck Showalter has Tony Womack leading off, but at shortstop tonight, Jay Bell at second base. Luis Gonzalez hit the ball real well last night. Home run double. Then we had, he just hit the ball real well with 2 base hits. Matt Williams over last night, looking to get going in the cleanup spot. Greg Colburn is the first baseman, hitting 5th. Steve Dorsal Finley in center field. Bernard Innocent until proven guilty. The one-time Met is in right. Kelly Stinnett is the catcher. Todd Stottlemyre hits 9th. Going up against the Gambler, the left-hander for the New York Mets, acquired in a midseason trade with the Oakland A's, Kenny Rogers, who has a New York Met Ray 5-1.
Done a great job after being acquired from Oakland. 34 years old. You'll see that he throws a lot of pitches away, lives on the outside part of the plate. Fastball that runs into left-handed hitters, away from right-handers. Very tough on right-handed hitters. A sinker, a straight changeup out there that I think that is his best pitch. And then generally late in the ball game, we'll start using a big, slow curveball in on the hands of right-handed hitters.
You saw his combined record, 5 wins with Oakland and 5 wins with the Mets equals 10-4. And here he is with the Mets. And as we mentioned in the open, Ray, 12 starts for the Mets, 2 of them complete games. The Mets were 10-2 in the 12 starts that he had. So down the stretch, the pitchers the Mets have, Reed and Leiter, going in 3 and 4, who pitched the best for them at the very end. But Rogers has been real solid since he came over from Oakland, and they usually win 1-2 to count to the Major League Major League leader in stolen bases, Tony Womack. But it won't matter here. He is struck out.
And one thing that I noticed last night about the Diamondbacks, except for Gonzalez, nobody swung at the pitches that are their pitches. Matty Williams swung at a lot of those split fingers out in front. Here, this pitch is not even close. You're just trying to make contact. This ball's a good 12, 14 inches outside. You know that Kenny Rogers can't throw the ball by you. When he does throw the ball inside, it's generally for effect, to try to make him more effective away. So right there, just a bat at bat. And again, Arizona, I think, is just still a little geared up. Something has to happen here to slow the game down for them.
High and tight to Jay Bell, ball 1. Bell, one of 4 All-Stars on this Arizona Diamondback club.
And Chris, as our colleague Buck Martinez said earlier tonight, this is a type of pitcher that if you try to pull him, he will wear you out. Last year led all of baseball in ground ball double plays induced. Dead ground ball pitcher. And that's what happens. You pull the string on that changeup, and you can't do anything with it. Not unlike Tom Glavine, Denny Nagel. Very similar to those guys. Glavine a little bit more of a cutter inside. Fastball, changeup away, big curveball in.
Talked with Jay Bell for a while before the game, Ray, and he said we talk about patience in the Mets. We have to be patient because it's going to nibble, as you say, and we really have to think singles against him, not home runs.
Look at the catcher setting up outside, and he's just threading the needle out there. And Jay Bell, one thing that I've noticed about this Arizona ball club, Jay Bell later on in his career, they come over the top of the ball a little bit, meaning they pull the ball. You see the bat barrel way out in front of the ball, top hand, not inside outing the ball. You've got to stay inside of this baseball in order to hit him solidly.
Chopper. Oh, what a play by Ventura. And he throws him out. Robin Ventura, who's won Gold Gloves at third base, as Matt Williams has, just showed why. Talk about this infield defense. Ray, what a play.
Well, this is Brooks Robinson. This reminds me of a play that Brooks Robinson made in Cincinnati. The same exact play. That was on AstroTurf, but a ball Lee May hit foul into foul territory. Great play there by Robin Ventura, a guy that does not run well, probably the slowest guy on the field, but great lateral quickness.
And you saw a good call at first by Mark Hirschbeck because the throw did beat him, no question. So Luis Gonzalez, who of the big guys, of the 100 RBI guys last night, was by far and away the one swinging the bat the best, Ray. Last night, Gonzalez with a home run.
Well, he has a great idea. 327 against left-handers. Only a 10-point drop-off when you go to the left side, and that's really consistently. Pulls the ball when there's a right-handed pitcher out there, hits the ball the opposite way with the left.
Last night, his home run went to right, his double went to right center field, and we talked to him about it before the game, about his stance, you and I, Ray, and that open stance. But look at the back foot. We'll explain in a moment. He says, I'm normally a lunger, but he found something in the offseason that if I point the foot, the back foot, a little bit more toward the pitcher, I don't lunge as much. And boy, he lunged his way to a 30-game hitting streak at one point this year.
What it does, it sets that weight up on the inside part of that back knee and allows him to stay back there longer and float to the ball as opposed to driving off of that back leg or pushing off of it, which carries his hands forward.
Defensively, the Mets, who would allow by far and away the least unearned runs of anyone, and this is as good as they come in the infield, Ray.
Well, Ventura, Ordonez, and Alfonso all lead the league in their respective positions, and behind Rogers being the ground ball pitcher that he is, it's really important. It doesn't surprise me that he has a 5-1 record, because he just, talking about playing into your defense, he's the type of pitcher that just really works his defense well. Only one unearned run behind him this year, and as a New York Met. Has a great move at first base, very difficult to steal on. Although we talked to Tony Womack, we'll get back into that next time Womack is up there.
Well, this is Matt Williams with 142 RBIs, a career high for him, but last night, the collar. Said every time he came up this year, there was somebody at second base. He had one occasion like that last night and didn't deliver. Here, Gonzalez is at first base. Williams with 35 home runs this year at .303 average, which was the highest of his career. And this year, Matt passed the 300 mark in home runs, the 1,000 mark in RBIs, and the 1,500 mark in hits. So those are three great milestones to accumulate in one season.
Matty's always been a great run producer. What he does, he's a great mistake hitter. He does not miss balls that people throw fat. Sometimes hitters foul those pitches off. Matt Williams hits them out there hard somewhere.
strike.
Some pitchers lose a little bit of command and velocity with their slide step or out of the stretch. Kenny Rogers, to me, has better movement out of the stretch than he does when he winds up.
Chopper that Rogers will handle himself. So an uneventful first inning for the Diamondbacks as well. Gonzalez stranded. We've played one, no score. Top of the second, no score. Each team with a walk with 2 outs and couldn't do anything with it. So now Robin Ventura. How often do you see it, Ray? You sparkle in the field, you lead off. Another ground ball induced by Todd Stottlemyre. 1 up, 1 down. Bell over to Colgren. And here's that play that Robin Ventura made to Rob J. Bell.
4 steps and 2 more steps, throwing over the top. Perfect accuracy there. The ball bounding upward as opposed to scooting on AstroTurf. Very difficult play, and I've only seen one other guy make that way, and that was Brooks Robinson. Yes, sir.
That was reminiscent of those plays that he made against the Orioles. I mean, against the Big Red Machine. This is Darrell Hamilton. Since he came over in a midseason trade from Colorado, one of many engineered by general manager Steve Phillips. He's had a great second half for the New York Mets. Hammy, as a Met, hit .339 with 5 homers and 21 RBIs, and he's trying to become the latter-day Lonnie Smith. Remember, you know, in the early 90s, it seemed like every team Lonnie Smith played for, they were in it. Phillies, Atlanta. Hamilton, who was the starting center fielder for the Texas Rangers in '96 when they won their first ever AL West. Starting center fielder for the Giants when they the Rangers in the AL West. The Giants winning the NL West in 1997. Then here he is with the Mets in the postseason, so he's becoming a good luck charm. I want Darrell Hamilton in the playoffs.
Well, and the reason for that is, Chris, although he's never been a superstar, he's a man that does a lot of things well, very quietly. He doesn't make mistakes. He just catches every ball he's supposed to, makes good throws to cut off men, bunts, runs the bases well, and that's the kind of person you want, just a solidifier down the stretch.
Well, you talked about being patient, and the Mets are doing just that. At the second base on balls, they have worked off of Todd Stottlemyre. Valentine said, well, we average 3 points. He knew the number 3.7 or 3.8 pitches per batter, which that's been one of the trademarks of the New York Yankees, as good as they've been in winning in '96 and, of course, last year. Their professionalism and patience at the plate. All the more reason to be patient against Stottlemyre, because coming off the injury, although Todd is a gamer and he will give it everything tonight, they can get the pitch count up early, then they get into the bullpen earlier, because you just don't think Stottlemyre, barring a low pitch game, Ray, will go 8 or 9 innings. He just may not be capable, although the heart certainly is willing. This is Roger Cedeno, and the 0-1 pitch is, you know, weakly swung on, and it's 0-2.
Well, on that point there, Buck Showalter said that the New York Mets would dictate how far Stottlemyre goes in this game, meaning that there are no limitations. If he's pitching well, he'll be out there. And, you know, the weakness or the spot in this ball club, on this ball club, for the Diamondbacks is that middle relief.
He will keep an eye on Darrell Hamilton. Let's bring Buck Martinez in, Ray. And Buck, you've seen Todd Stottlemyre certainly in his years with Toronto, and then throwing even last year with Texas and St. Louis. What have you seen in his motion? Is he favoring anything? Is he working differently? What do you see so far? Wait, we'll pick it up after this pitch.
Chris, his delivery is perfect. Everything looks fine, and he told me he could do everything he did before the injury. The thing I'm noticing right now is the way he's cool and calm out there, and it's a sign of maturity. Plus, Ray, you know very well that when players have baseball taken away from them because of an injury, they have a tendency to appreciate it more, and I think he really appreciates the opportunity to get back on the mound.
Pitch out, and Hamilton is not going.
There's no doubt about it. Todd Stottlemyre, as we talked about earlier, is a guy that has always loved this game, came up in this game with his father, his brother also a pitcher, and he has great reverence for the game, great respect for it, and loves the game. A guy that's never played for the money, goes out, and every manager he's ever played for has just raved about this guy's professionalism and wish that they had 25 players like him.
There goes Hamilton, swung on and foul back. We'll do it again. You know, we talked with Todd Stottlemyre about his very gut-wrenching decision. About to be 34. Do you go with the surgery? But gee, it could be 6 months, could be 12 months, and I'm going to talk to him and let you know what he said about it. It was very tough, because you don't know how you're going to come back. But then again, you don't know if here's a team that's obviously going places, and he wants the pitch. Again, and a little chopper, and that's going to be foul. Well, we talked about, here's what Stottlemyre had to say about the decision not to undergo surgery.
The toughest part is not that I've changed my mechanics, but I've worked real hard at staying back a little longer, trying not to fly open and put extra stress on my arm. I'm really trying to use my legs and midsection more, and because of that, I think the day after I start, I feel a little older than I did the day before.
A little older the day after. You know what? We all do. And you know what else? We're all day to day. Every one of us.
The thing that amazes me about Todd is that he lifted weights like a football player. He gained 15 pounds of muscle in his lower back, in his traps, in his legs.
We'll do it again. Well, the Mets in this at bat alone by Cedeno, wearing him out.
Well, Cedeno struck out 100 times this season. The only two Mets to do that were Ventura and Cedeno. Ventura 109 strikeouts. This ball club makes contact. This will be the 8th pitch to Cedeno, and as you talked about, the more pitches you force him to throw early in the game, the shorter his outing is going to be.
30th pitch of the night already, Ray, and there's one out in the second inning. Ripped up the middle off of Stottlemyre. Bello went to cover, cannot recover, and all hands are safe. So Cedeno fouled it off, and now is a base hit, and the Mets have 2 on with 1 out for Ordonez.
Well, he goes with a slider, trying to get in on his hands, got the ball out over the plate. The ball hit him right on the wrist. Ball bounds out there, barely worked itself out there on the dirt. No play for Jay Bell. But you can see the rotation of that slider trying to get in on the hands of Cedeno and left it out over the plate. And when the ball's out over the plate, a lot of those balls go back up the middle.
Ray, you can bet that Todd Stottlemyre is not coming out of this game because he got hit by a baseball. Unless there's a bone sticking out, you're going to have to drag him out of here. He's looking at his hand, but has nothing to do with his pitching, and he's a little more aggravated that he didn't make the play than the fact that he got hit on the hand.
Yeah, he's a tough man. I remember the Charlie Hayes attack at second base, and knowing Todd, you know, I think he'd have liked to have had round 2 on that deal. But he's a tough hombre, and truly amazing. I started to tell that story about hurting his shoulder on a Tuesday, flying out Wednesday to get it checked out, then joining the team all the way across the country in New York, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just to be a part of the ball club. That tells you a little about his integrity and his character and his devotion to this club.
Ray Ordonez looked at strike 1, taking a long look at the third base coach. Cookie, days of wine and Rojas for the sign. Hamilton, the runner at second base. Cedeno was at first. No score, top of the second.
Matty Williams just challenging Ordonez there. You probably would not bunt here with 1 out and the pitcher on deck, but certainly there's a base hit down that third baseline if he chooses to. Matty Williams playing back deep, trying to knock the ball down or at least turn a double play. But look how deep he is there, and look how far he is off the line. This tells me that Stottlemyre is going to look at that depth. I mean, that's way deep. He can't even get to a ball that if it's a swing and bunt, there's no way they can make that play.
1-1 pitch in there for a strike. 1-2. Plate umpire tonight is Wally Bell. Mark Hirschbeck is at first. Dana DeMuth at second. Randy Marsh is at third. Paul Schreiber is in left, and Brian Gorman is in right field. Behind the plate, calling the balls and strikes.
Everybody swung around to right field. Right fielder Gilkey very shallow. The shortstop playing up the middle like a left-handed pull hitter.
Strike 3 call. Fastball up and in the outside corner, and Ordonez obviously looking for something else, Ray.
Yeah, that's what Todd Stottlemyre will do. He has the 4 pitches, and if you get you thinking up there, you're dead meat. Fastball out over the plate, running back in. No chance there for Ordonez after the slider, but look how he just threads the needle on the outside part of the plate. Right there, Stinnett just sets Stinnett, setting it up, getting the call. But he worked him beautifully. Fastball in, then slider, short, down in front of the plate, then just took him out with the fastball.
Bring up Kenny Rogers, who was 3 for 25, which is a 120 batting average with no extra base hits. Had an RBI this year. Of course, for years and years and years, Oakland and Texas and the Yankees and the American League. So not a lot of plate appearances. He does have a postseason base hit. He started Game 4, that pivotal Game 4 of the '96 World Series for the Yankees. Got a hit against Atlanta. Now, he was long gone by the time Leyritz hit that homer off Wallers, but he started against Nagel in the key game of that World Series. Didn't pitch well, but got a hit, so file that away. Count is 1-2, and Stottlemyre 1 pitch away from getting out of an inning in which 2 Mets have reached.
Well, you've got the left fielder now moving toward the left field line. Center fielder shading left center very strongly, very shallow. So I would think Stottlemyre would go into the teeth of the defense and pitch him away.
Struck him out. So Stottlemyre with 2 aboard strikes out the number 8 and 9 hitters, and the crowd is on its feet here at the Bob. No score, bottom of the second. Chris Berman, Ray Knight, Buck Martinez. Glad you could be with us here late this evening here in Phoenix. 2 games tomorrow on Thursday. Red Sox and Indians, Game 2 from the Jake at 4 Eastern time. That'll be John and Joe on that call on ESPN. Hope you can join us then. Then Fox has the Rangers at the Yankees for Game 2. Andy Pettit going to that Game 4 New York at 8 Eastern and 5 in the Pacific. So just 2 games on Thursday, and again 4 and 8 on Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, maybe there'll be 4 games each day for you baseball fans. That'll be wonderful. Kenny Rogers pitching against Greg Colburn. Colburn this year in platooning with Rubio Durazo. 5 home runs, 24 RBIs, a .326 average, so they were a great platoon. And against the lefties, he hits .361. Against righties, .237. Part of the reason why there's a lefty in there. You know what? Maybe I'll play him tonight. And there's the Mexican sensation Durazo, who sparkled last night with a home run. Colburn has been around.
Colburn likes to pull the ball. With 2 strikes, he goes the other way, but he actually dives to the ball and has a lot of outside plate coverage. So it doesn't surprise me if he hits the ball very hard, center field, left center field. They're playing him straight away in the outfield. Talking to him before the game, he said you cannot try to pull Kenny Rogers, because that's not really into Colburn's strength. He likes to pull the ball.
Well, he goes the other way here, and it's going to plunk in for a base hit. Cedeno over, but Colburn in for a double. So away, away, away. The patient Diamondbacks have their first runner in scoring position tonight.
Well, I like that. He talked about going the other way, and he does here. Actually, this is a changeup. He hits off the end of the bat. You see it there. I don't know that he was planning on going that way, but obviously his bat laid off a little bit, letting the ball get back to him. And if he is trying to pull that ball, he hits it, doesn't make contact. He mixes it off the end of the bat because he'll swing before the ball gets to him. But now he's set up a nice situation here, runner on second base. Finley, who is outstanding handler of the bat, can bunt, pull the ball, and this situation where you do what you do best. If you can pull the ball and get the guy over, you do it. But if you know you can't pull the ball to get him over, you bunt him over. With 103 RBI over the course of the season, 34 home runs, I don't know that he'll be bunting this early in the ball game.
Finley 1 for 3 last night. Breaking ball is up top. It's only the second time in these 2 games, Ray, that a leadoff batter has reached for the Diamondbacks. Bell singled in the 6th yesterday and scored on Gonzalez's home run. So maybe there's an omen for it. Swinging through that Finley, a member, of course, of the National League West champion Padres last year. His 11th season. Came up a long time ago.
Robin Ventura. Yeah, it does. Robin Ventura very tight there, respecting the bunt situation.
He tried to bunt it. So here's a guy that 103 RBIs, 34 homers, as you mentioned, tries to lay down the bunt.
You've also mentioned that the Mets have not trailed. I think the Diamondbacks are thinking about that a little bit. You get that run posted on the board, it takes a little bit of that pressure off of that pressure cooker, loosens the cap a little bit, lets off a little bit of that steam. Now he just has to battle here to make contact. Infield back, expect him to swing the bat with 2 strikes, as I'm sure he will, but now you just have to battle, try to make some type of contact.
Which he does, and he gets it foul.
This is almost when you play Pepper. Buck was outstanding at that as a right-handed hitter. You get 2 strikes with a runner on second base, and you just work the count, work the count, work the count, foul the ball off, but you just cannot leave there not running. Meaning you can't strike out. You've got to put the ball in play, preferably on the ground. Even though this defense is airtight, try to create something out there to make a mistake.
Swings through the fastball that might have been high and outside. So after he got himself in the hole with the foul bunt, Finley strikes out. So 1 out, and that'll bring up the one-time Met, although more notable as a St. Louis Cardinal, Bernard innocent until proven guilty. Gilkey in the platoon system here. Gilkey this year hit .294. He's a lifetime .279. Came over from the Mets in the middle of the year in '98. And trade for a pair of players, Willie Blair and George Fabregas. Hit to left field. The crowd gives it a rise, but it's straight away left, and Ricky Henderson is under it. 2 down. And now Kelly Stinnett, the catcher, will come up.
Well, he just missed that ball. That's a hanging breaking ball. Gilkey, an outstanding right-handed batter. I want you to look at this swing here. I mean, this is a breaking ball just a little bit out front there. Very strong swing. Did not really get out in front with his body. Just caught the ball with the break going down. He knows it. That was a home run type swing there. And the movement of that breaking ball down got the ball down off the end of the bat.
Kelly Stinnett, who was 0 for 3 last night, looks at the ball. Stinnett was a Met from '94 to '95. Told you last night was hurt very early this year. 4th game of the year. Ryan Klesko plowed into him to the plate. Pretty much hurt all year. But he and Damian Miller were a nice platooning catcher. Hits it well to center field. But Darrell Hamilton is there, always getting a strong jump on the ball, and that was no adventure. 2 innings, no score. Here comes the Fonz.
ESPN's coverage of the divisional playoffs is brought to you by Circuit City. Answers in every department, low prices all over the store.
No score here as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. Todd Stottlemyre facing Ricky Henderson and Buck Martinez. Mechanics. A question for Todd Stottlemyre tonight.
Well, Chris, anytime you injure your arm, you're going to worry about mechanics. And take a look at Todd's delivery here. He's got perfect mechanics as he stays balanced and he gets out over that front leg to drive perfectly. Good shoulder drive, and you see how the hand finishes on top of the ball. That's picture perfect mechanics for Todd Stottlemyre coming back from a serious shoulder injury.
Ricky Henderson takes ball 1. See, I got all excited. Buck said he was going to talk about his mechanics. I saw Todd drive into the park today, and, you know, his car seemed to be running well. I thought he was talking about his car mechanics. I was wondering, you know, they got the car all tuned up so nicely. But I guess it is a baseball game. He's trying to pick up some tips on the side. Count is 1-1 to Ricky, who flew out to right field in the 1st inning. Ricky 0 for 2 last night, but 2 walks, 2 runs scored. So this is, he's such a danger even if he isn't hitting.
Well, he's 10 for 37 in his career. We're hitting .370 with 3 home runs against Todd. And he said that one thing that he feels is that Todd Stottlemyre, especially with no one out as we are in this situation, does not want to put him on base because he knows that he can throw a triple there. He's still second to third.
He rips this one to left field, so the all-time stolen base leader is aboard. Henderson, a leadoff hit here in the third, and that'll bring up the postseason man of the moment, the thus far this year Mr. October, at least for the Mets, Edgardo Alfonzo, who last night, Ray, became the 6th player to hit 2 homers in his first postseason game. The others, Junior Griffey, Gary Gaetti, Chipper Jones, Ted Kluszewski, and B.J. Surhoff. He also became the first player to hit a grand slam in his first career postseason game. So normally you say nowhere to go but up. The Mets just hope he continues on this up.
Well, Ricky Henderson doing exactly what he's done his whole career against Stottlemyre, getting into 2-1, then Stottlemyre throwing the slider and the breaking ball to every other hitter when he's behind in the count, to a fastball to Ricky. Ricky hits a bullet to left field. So Stottlemyre pitches Ricky Henderson a little bit different because of his respect of his speed on the bases.
So we read you all the numbers last night. For Ricky Henderson, 1,334 stolen bases. Brock's second at 938. It was 400 more than the second man all time. It's unbelievable. 37 this year. Of course, his 2 steals last night. He has 27 career postseason stolen bases in 45 games. He's a menace. And there always the where he stayed up there and walks and runs. I mean, you read all the names last night. Says he wants to play. He's going to have 3,000 hits. Going to have 300 home runs to go along with everything else. And there he goes. A good pitch to try and throw him out on, but you're trying to throw out Ricky Henderson. It's a high fastball, but Henderson is in with his 3rd stolen base here in the 2 games.
Well, you call him a menace. I call him the most disruptive force in the game of baseball, not just today, but all time. He just always has that walking lead where he moves that right foot ever so slowly and then accelerates, gets a walking lead there. Pretty good throw inside of there, but as you mentioned, no chance. And again, you better watch out right here. If you're not holding him close, Jay Bell way off. The shortstop's got responsibility, thinking Alfonso's going to hit the ball the other way, which he should. Now this is really interesting here. Alfonso, both of his home runs last night to the left side of second base, but Womack with cover responsibility. So they're thinking that 3rd inning, Alfonso's going to try to hit the ball the opposite way in order to get Ricky Henderson advanced to 3rd base.
2-1 the count. Oh, we just got away from it. It certainly went a fastball. It's a breaking ball, but the crowd actually says, hey, you dumped him, but that was not the intent on that play. Although Stottlemyre has been known to work a little inside. That was not that situation.
Let me tell you, I don't know if that was a breaking ball or not. I just know that Alfonso has hit it, but we're going to see right here if this is a breaking ball. I think it's a fastball that he's running in. Yes, absolutely. And I think that they have to get Alfonso off the plate, make him move his feet. First base is open.
Well, he drills this to right field. Gilkey is back, makes the catch. Henderson will tag and go to 3rd. So he did go the other way. Didn't quite get it down there to where Gilkey could not make a play. And now the Mets have a go-ahead run, or potential the first run to be scored in this game, 90 feet away.
Well, Chris, right here, one thing that happens is we see the play and the tag up at second base with a hitter. Once you bust him in, very few people will repeat that pitch inside. They generally bust you in and go away again. And that Alfonso, with a great hitter that he is, he sloughed off that pitch inside, looked away. That's where he threw it, and he hit it to right field.
In there for a strike to John Olerud. Olerud walked and was erased on a fielder's choice in the 1st inning. 3 for 5 last night, 2 for 5 on Monday night. Pitch inside, hacked away. So now Stottlemyre ahead on the count 0-2.
Now you're going to see a great battle here. Olerud 5 for 12, 417 as you see their lifetime against Stottlemyre. Stottlemyre now has actually 3 pitches that he can make. The slider in off of him, the changeup away, fastball up. There goes the fastball up and away. With Olerud's patience at the plate and ability to get a good ball to hit, Chris, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him work this count to 3-2.
Little chopper Henderson coming home. He will score while Womack throws out Olerud, but the Mets are on the board. So 3 times they had a leadoff man reach base yesterday. They all scored. Leadoff man reaches here in the 3rd inning. He scores, and once again, the Mets have the lead.
Yeah, that's what you call Ricky right here going on ground ball contact. He really waited till the ball got to the pitcher there, so he was not in that ground ball contact mode there. He was making sure the ball goes by the pitcher in order to get Piazza also a chance to drive in a run. A lot of times with 1 out, runner on 3rd base, you will be in that, you're going on ground ball contact. And Ricky, as you saw there, got the lead, stutter stepped, and went when he saw the ball by the pitcher.
Fastball away to Piazza. 1-1. Fielder's choice in the 1st. Ricky with the stolen base. He steals the bases. He scores. He's been aboard 3 times in these 2 games. Ray scored all 3 times.
Well, this is what type of ball club this team is. I mean, he gets a single. He steals second base. The number 2 hitter who hit 2 home runs, drove in 5 runs last night, hits a ball to right field, gets him to 3rd base, and then the 3-hole hitter just makes some contact up the middle by the pitcher and gets a run in.
Yes, he went 2-2.
And Mike Piazza continues to spin off the ball. He told me today he knows that he's doing it. When he generally is doing that, he spreads his stance out very wide and tries to hit the ball the other way.
Doesn't offer at that one, and the count is full with Ventura on deck. Payoff pitch. Strike 3. Strikeout number 3 for Stottlemyre, but the Mets have scored. Heading to the bottom of the 3rd. 1-0 New York. Welcome back to the Bob Game 2 of the Division Series. The Mets won and the Diamondbacks nothing. And Ray, you know, Monday night, Tuesday night, and now here we are in the middle of the 3rd inning. The Mets, they've never trailed in any of these must wins. I know 1-0 is not a big lead, but yet it just is different for their pitchers. It also says with the job the pitchers have done to not give up anything.
It does. Defensively pitching, getting guys over, doing things fundamentally. And when you're in the lead, it takes pressure off of you. It takes pressure off of you. I'm telling you, there's some people that believe that it's a lot better to be the hunted than the hunter. I don't, the hunter instead of the huntee, I don't believe that. I think you get a lead and it's tough to catch up.
Well, Leiter certainly was great on Monday night, and he just shut out the Reds with a 2-hitter. Complete game. The 5th complete game the Mets have had, because that's a regular season game. 2 of the complete games of the 5 this year by the Mets by the man on the mound. Kenny Rogers, of course, was only a Met starting late July.
Well, Todd Stottlemyre has a little idea how to hit. Swings the bat well. Another great athlete. The only athlete, really non-athlete on the pitching staff.
I know what you're going to say. Is Randy.
Right.
And, you know, in one of the many big moments last night, Randy Johnson hit that double, but then forgot how many outs there were. And not only did it take his team out of, you know, a chance to maybe score the go-ahead run, which they may or may not have, but you know he was thinking about it on the mound in the 9th inning, and then all of a sudden the bases were loaded. Don't you think it affected both players?
That was a crucial play. We didn't talk about it enough, I didn't think. The situation there with Jay Bell up, left-handed pitcher on the mound, and Cook, runner on second base. I mean, you've got to make a decision whether Wendell was hot in the bullpen. So Bobby had to make a decision whether to pitch to Jay Bell with a left-hander, Dennis Cook, or bring in the right-hander Wendell. If he makes that decision, then Gonzalez is there staring at you in the hole. So a whole different ballgame when it was a double play.
Tony Womack struck out to lead off the 1st inning. Womack won the Major League stolen base title this year. The man who was second most in stolen bases, Roger Cedeno, playing for the Mets tonight. So, and the all-time stolen base leader, of course, Ricky Henderson is here. So we got some guys that know a little about. Ventura in on the grass. In case Womack wants to drop it down, but he takes this pitch inside for ball, 2-1.
Well, he's going to have to stop trying to pull this pitch. Last time he looked awful with on that breaking ball. There's no reason why Kenny goes to anything different.
Now he tries to push the bunt, and it's foul. So twice the Diamondbacks with one strike have tried to bunt, and twice they fouled it off.
If you watch Kenny Rogers, when he throws that fastball, seldom is it anywhere on the fat part of the plate. It's either down, borderline strike zone, or off the plate away. Either a ball off the plate, just nipping the outside corner. He has great control, and when he has command of that fastball and changeup, very difficult to hit unless you just take the whole pull side of the park out of your approach.
Well, that was the proverbial string, wasn't it, Ray? Strike 3.
Well, I mean, he's not showing me, as a professional hitter, that he can throw the ball by me. And you look how far out front. I mean, he could have swung twice before this ball got to him. Look at the great tight rotation of that breaking ball. Now, if you take that right shoulder, drive it toward the shortstop, that ball sits there for you. If you spin off that ball, you've got no chance, because your back becomes very short as your shoulder leaves the ball and goes toward the dugout, and you just can't get to the ball.
2 outs, the base is clear for Jay Bell. Bell with 38 home runs this year. As we said last night, that's only 4 off the record for most home runs hit in a single season by a second baseman. A record that who knows, Alfonso might have one day. Here's a base hit to left. So Bell, with the second Diamondback hit of the night, is now aboard for Luis Gonzalez.
Well, he really moved up on the plate this time and drove his shoulder right to the ball. Watch how his shoulder goes right towards second base. Then he adjusts. That ball's on the outside part of the plate. But because he drives his shoulder to the ball, it brings the ball into him, and he has more plate coverage with the bat.
We start to tell you about the foot of Luis Gonzalez, and we'll watch that, how it's pointed inward, despite the fact that it's that open stance that, I don't know, Dick McAuliffe used to have a stance like this, Ray, and a couple others, but that back foot is what we were talking about, and you explained very well what it's done for him. I mean, here's a guy that hit .336 this year and led the league in hits with 206.
Well, it locks in the back side there, and it keeps him back longer. Talk about the mechanics of pitching with Todd Stottlemyre. Hitters have mechanics also. The most important part in my mind as a hitter is making sure your weight shift is not too volatile toward the pitcher, that it's a soft, almost like tiger-like reach, and then an explosion with your hands. Soft feet, fast hands. When you get those feet going too hard and charging that mound, and your hands come with you, and you end up pushing the bat.
Rip but foul. Count is 2-1 now to Gonzo, as they call him.
Okay.
30-game hitting streak this year, and a 16-game hitting streak, and a 13-game hitting streak. Tampa, Florida. Fouled it back. The paraphernalia.
Yeah, that paraphernalia. Very difficult to pitch to Luis Gonzalez. You wonder why he hits .330, .340. He's got so much plate coverage. We talked about last night not getting the inside pitch. But look right here. Look how close he is there to the plate. Brings that knee this way, and look where he ends up. His hands are right over the inside part of the plate there. And you just can't pitch him inside because everything in there, he closes off. The umpire calls to the ball. We saw it 3 times last night. That open stance kind of invites you to go in there, but when he closes it off, there's nowhere to go in there, and he's got that quick bat slashing on the ball inside. But as he told us tonight, against left-handed pitching, he tries to hit the ball the other way.
Well, they're booing as if that was a chin music. That was more like a folly floater back music. The Buck Showboats will take it because now there's runners at first and second for the big fella, Matt Williams, looking for his first hit here in this postseason.
Yeah, that was that flop drop that it didn't do anything. And again, being on top of the plate has a lot to do with that because you almost have to start this ball behind him or right at him. See, that pitch is right there. It just didn't break. It was a hanging breaking ball. But believe it or not, that's where he starts that breaking ball in order for it to be a strike because of that inside part of the plate being taken away by the stance.
It's a 70-mile-an-hour floater.
Well, Matty Williams here needs to take a pitch.
Yes. 80 RBIs with runners in scoring position, but Matt looking for his first base hit of this postseason. The crowd knows it. They can feel it.
And the reason I say that is because he swung at the first ball 3 out of his 4 at-bats last night, and you just get a little impatient. All these at-bats, no matter how many you've had in the course of the season or how many runs you've driven in, they just become that much more important. And you've got to just settle down a little bit. The more balls you see, the more relaxed you are.
Breaking ball in there for a strike, 1-1.
So what? 1-1, 2 breaking balls, still even in the count. He hasn't lost anything. He's right where he needs to be.
Diamondbacks led the National League with runs scored last year with 908. This year, they're hoping they will get at least one in this at-bat from Williams. Maybe some more. Little chopper could be tough. It is tough. So Matt Williams, a huge RBI man, gets the old 55-foot single. And now the bases are loaded for Greg Colburn. Single hit by pitch and a little infield single, all with 2 outs. And Bobby Valentine a little tighter on the bench.
Look at this ball right here. That ball is almost on the ground there. Now that's a 2-1 count. You can't swing at that ball. That is anxiousness. That ball is almost on the ground right there, and that's what we're seeing and what we talked about last night with the Arizona hitters. These great hitters with the great histories of driving in runs tend to swing at bad balls in crucial situations.
Now here's not a big name for Arizona, Greg Colburn, but he was patient enough and plunked a double down the right field line to lead off the second inning. He was stranded there. Bell, Gonzalez, and Williams aboard.
I like pinch hitters in crucial situations, meaning guys that have been on the bench all year because they're used to this. They're accustomed to this. 391 Colburn hit this year pinch hitting. His last 8 at-bats, he got 5 pinch hits. So he is accustomed to this situation.
Reach the corner. 1-1.
Hey, he doesn't worry about the bases.
No.
That's pretty serious right there.
Yeah. Almost Pat Tabler-esque.
Really?
Pat always had the great bases loaded numbers. One of our favorites, Pat, pick up the Tabler. 2-1, a hitter's count. Diamondbacks looking for their first lead in the series with just a base knock.
And I'm telling you what he's going to throw. His best pitch is a changeup. He's going to throw a changeup right here, 2-1. Changeup down and away. Nope. Nothing wrong tonight about 3 out of 4 times.
Third ball inside, 3-1. Look at the crowd. They're all on their feet, 49,000 plus, sensing a little excitement from the D-backs.
Now as a hitter, this is where you keyhole. You know what your pitch is. You know what pitch you can handle. You look right there in one little area, and if it's not there, you spit on it.
They'll take it any way they can get it. We're tied at 1, ball 4. has started with 2 outs and the bases clear. And now Dave Wallace, pitching coach, Mike Piazza out to the mound to try and settle down Rogers before this at bat by Steve Finley. Octavio Dotel is warming up in the bullpen just in case Rogers has lost his way. Fireballer who impressed in his starting assignments, but with this series is in the bullpen. And the base is still loaded for Steve Finley, who struck out in the 2nd inning.
This year, Steve Finley 5 for 12, 417 with a grand slam and 19 RBI.
Swung on and missed.
With the bases loaded.
Here are your base runners. Luis Gonzalez at 3rd. Matt Williams at 2nd. Greg Colburn is at 1st. Slam last night for the Mets. Won this by Alfonso in the 9th. Can Finley turn the tide? Turn the trick for the Diamondbacks. This team had 8 grand slams this year, trying for the National League lead. 9 wouldn't be bad for Arizona's side. Not on that pitch here tonight. And Piazza's had a rough night, but it's almost like he's catching a knuckleball with all the balls bouncing off the bats. Yikes.
That's a tendency when people get out in front of the ball. Here's a breaking ball, the ball near the end of the bat. Change ups, the ball hits off the end of the bat. The ball tends to bounce right back at you. When you foul fastballs off, they usually go scouring straight back to the backstop or maybe off your mask. For those sinkers and slow breaking balls.
Find a little more tender zone, don't they?
A little more meat, yeah.
Pitch was away. Finley went with it. So he's creeping up on 60 pitches as well, right?
Yeah, 28 innings, the first 28 pitches the first 2 innings. This inning, 28 pitches alone. And that's when you get him. Stottlemyre loosening up, staying loose in there. Is when you can make a finesse pitcher throw a lot of pitches. The more pitches he throws, it's just common sense. The more he throws, the more chances he has of making a bad pitch.
Inside, 1-2.
Well, let's see. Started him off with a curveball, went to the curveball again. Then 0-2 fastball away, he fouled off. Then 1-2, he busted him in with a fastball. And again, remember what we said earlier. He throws that fastball in just for effect. He doesn't throw it for a strike. Probably going to go away with something soft again.
It's soft and it's driven to right field. Gonzalez scores. Williams being waved home. Here's the throw. Not in time. 3-1 Arizona.
Breaking ball, and any time that you go there 3 times to the well, the first 2 breaking balls were excellent. The third one not as good. Hitter has the advantage. Gonzalez, bring it on. Matty Williams sliding in there, safe. Great throw by Roger Cedeno there from right field, making this. Let's see if he gets to the plate. His left foot actually comes up off the plate. I believe he was out. I don't think his right foot.
Well, let's look at that again from that angle.
Let's check that out again. funny slide there by Matty Williams.
It was.
I mean, there's no doubt he beat the throw, but his left cleat.
It's almost like the parking brake came on before he got right into the garage.
Look at it. It bounces up off the turf. Look at it right here. There it's going there. It bounces up, misses a plate. He tags him. I'm telling you, buddy.
Well, it shouldn't have been that close. It should have been in.
Well, that front foot actually hit the dirt and bounced up over the plate. And Piazza, with the swing and tagged him before his right knee got to the plate.
Meanwhile, on the throw, Finley moves up to second base, and Colburn, of course, advancing to third. So a little looper by Gilkey could bust this to a 5-1 game. Martinez on the play at the plate. Piazza really tried to block it. Did you think he did?
No, he didn't. He has to get in front of the plate. The umpire could see white on the outside of the shin guard. If he takes that foot, another foot up the third baseline, then he blocks him off totally. Ray's assessment is right on. The leg did pop up, and he may have, in fact, been out. But because the umpire could see the plate and he saw Williams' foot hit Piazza, Mike was back over the plate instead of being up the third base line a little bit.
Ventura across to Olerud. But for the first time in the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday postseason games, the Mets are trailing 3-1 Arizona. Well, now a little excitement here at the Bob. 3-1 Diamondbacks in the top of the fourth inning. There's a 3-spot, all that began with 2 out and nobody on. The Diamondbacks ended up with 8 men at the plate and their first lead. Kenny Rogers now hoping that his batsman he just gave up. We're going to take after Ventura, we're going to take a look at his play at the plate. We had a heated debate ourselves here between innings. I'm going to let you see it fast motion, let you see it slow motion, then we'll all vote. The patient Mets, Ventura has quickly worked the count to 3-0. One thing the starting pitcher wants to do after his team scores multiple runs for him is go right out there and shut the opposition down. But Ventura works a base on ball. So let's look and see what Wally Bell saw at the play. Here's the hit by Finley. Gonzalez scores easily. Then watch Gonzalez say to Matty, get down, get down.
That looks safe to me there. Now that speed looks safe. Now this speed right here, watch his right knee. His leg goes up, tagged him on the leg, and his knee leg's not there yet.
I don't know. Well, you can't. I vote he was safe anyway. You think he was out? Buck, what do you think?
Well, I think Piazza could have made it a lot easier on the umpires, I mentioned before, by just taking a step up the third baseline and then dropping his knee. Then he would have gave Wally Bell no look whatsoever at the plate. Williams would have crashed into his leg, and home plate wouldn't have been a factor. You know what? When you have a chance to cut down a run at home plate, it's just like hitting a home run. It really shoots the excitement level up for your team. Right here, you can see that Piazza didn't get that left leg far enough up the third base line to really throw down a roadblock on Big Matt Williams.
Well, here's one thing I know. It's 3-1. He should have been safe anyway, but the front, that was an odd slide. What? This was not. Have their leadoff man aboard, Ventura. And the count is 2-1 to Darrell Hamilton. I can't believe how quiet it's gotten. It's kind of cute being here, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way. It's kind of a very pure atmosphere here, Ray. Last night and tonight, I mean, they love their Diamondbacks, and they, of course, have known baseball for years and years in spring training. And here is a tailor-made one. Whoa, but it's not. A bad Taylor. A sharp ground ball to Jay Bell, which had 2 written all over it. Instead, it has 0.
That ball came up on Jay, and he was actually in the process of swiveling his hips. Watch here as he starts to swivel there to try to change his feet. Womack waits and actually just beats it. Robin Ventura beats it. I thought maybe that he beats it. Yeah, no doubt. Hustling Robin Ventura, and right there, Jay, and trying to shift his feet to make the throw, I think took his eye off the ball as that ball jumped up right about waist high.
Well, that could be a major miscue. Not only is it an error to get one guy on, it could have been bases empty.
I tell you, it's going to be major simply because of the fact that that's 2 outs there. That's a guaranteed double play. And every pitch after this that he throws, once the 3 outs are going to be put on the board, is more stress for Todd Stottlemyre. So just in that fact, that you're making your pitcher labor more, no matter what the outcome of this inning is.
Plus, here you go. You got a 3-1 lead. And a throw down by Stinnett. And there's one way to get it out back. Oh, Ventura was napping a little bit, went a step too far, and Stinnett just ripped one off. And again, a result of we've seen another attempt at a bunt not handled. Ray Ventura was trying to make sure he could get to third on.
That's exactly right. When you have a slow runner, I've been in that situation many times myself, almost picked off in the World Series because you try in there, you take the crow hop, you anticipate it, you take that little extra step and you're dead meat. But that's what happens when you don't have speed at second base. And that's something that a manager has to make up his mind. A perfect bunt may not even get you over there if you don't have speed at second.
Certainly no bunt got him nowhere. Womack, he blocked the second base very well for a guy that doesn't play short very much.
Well, that's a natural block there because you're coming in behind him. You're going to try to take the throw, just like Buck talked about, on the inside of the base there between the runner and the bag. So it's just almost a simultaneous block.
Inside low to Cedeno, and here's the play again at second base that Womack made.
See, he's sitting there because he breaks in from shortstop and didn't make any difference. The hand was there, but rocket thrown there by Stinnett.
Great job by Stinnett. So Jay is off half of the hook. Won the count down to Cedeno, swinging away, and here's Jay, a chance to. He made the tag, and he completes this double play. He's totally off the hook. He had a bad tailer, but then he put it back in, and you know what? The lapels were just right. 3-1 Diamondbacks. For the second time this game, the guy that's made the big play on defense is leading off. Bottom of the 4th inning, Kelly Stinnett will lead off for Arizona, who leads at 3-1 here in Game 2 of the National League Division Series. And Stinnett hits one a long way to center field. Back goes Hamilton. Oh, Darrell Hamilton robs him of extra bases. What a grab by Hammy, about 405 feet away in left center, the deepest part of the park. It's deeper than straightaway center field. And a nice round of applause here by the Arizona fans.
What enables him to make this play is balls hit by right-handers will tail back towards center field if they're pulled. This ball had a little bit of tail on it. The ball hits in his glove, bounces out to the web. What a great play by Darrell Hamilton there, just turning, running to the spot there. Look at him, just going hard as he can, stretches, leaps. The ball hits in his glove, right in the palm of his glove, runs out there. That ball is a little soft. The bottom of it isn't. Look at Lenny Harris. My goodness.
And now Todd Stottlemyre up. Boy, he gets such a good jump. I mean, he's not the fastest. May not be as fast as Dunston, who we saw fly out there last night, but just gets such a good read. And for those that really haven't seen many games here at the Bob, if you're wondering, well, wait a minute, there's grass, then there's warning track, then there's grass, then there's the wall. A little bit different here, so that guys can go hard. That was part of the thing that they show off. They built this. That guys can go hard knowing that they have about 4 or 5 feet of grass left after the warning track. It's just a different feel, and actually might be just distracting to outfielders the first time they do it, but Hamilton was flat out.
Well, it may be distracting, but I think it's a great concept. You also see that there's grass behind that, so
right.
I mean, you see the grass, and then as he punches him out there on that big hook.
So 2 outs now, and the leadoff man Tony Womack up, and we've been seeing some great shots from up top. Our friends at the Snoopy 2, the MetLife Blimp, we thank them teaming up with us for this bird's eye view of the game. Program began in '87. MetLife Blimp, Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2 have flown over 700,000 miles to provide aerial coverage of sporting events in the United States and Canada. And 700,000 miles, right? How come they've never flown over my your house? Well, they probably have. We just didn't see it. We thank them because the views tonight are just beautiful. I can't believe it takes like 4 minutes to open. 4 minutes. 4 minutes.
This is the first rectangular building that I've ever seen to house a ball field in. I was actually out here last year to do a personal appearance and drove by and didn't realize that this was a ballpark because it's rectangular and not like anything I've seen, but it certainly is beautiful in here.
Well, here's the roof, the rectangle roof. And then it looks, it just has a different look than anything else we have seen. It's unique, and fans are going to love coming here for years and years and years, especially with a ball club like this.
You mentioned the fans. You know, the fans are a big part of the attitude in which you play a ball game. And last night, once that home run was hit, I mean, everything in here just went totally dead, and rightfully so. But as you mentioned, as soon as they scored the first run, the Mets, everything in here got quiet again.
And even, Ray, after the 3-1 lead, okay, then the inning was over. They should have been still on the next inning, or so. I'm not trying to get on the fans. It's just different than a Northeast crowd. You know what Shea Stadium would have been like. If their team took a 3-1 lead, they would have been yelling. There goes the bat past Rogers. But unfortunately, the ball went past the bat for Womack. 5 strikeouts for Rogers. The Diamondbacks lead at 3-1. Chris Berman, Ray Knight, Buck Martinez with you here on ESPN late night from Arizona. The Diamondbacks lead at 3-1, and Friday night, our countdown of the 50 greatest athletes continues. Magic Johnson changed the way the guard position was played forever. He'll be number 17. That's on at 10 o'clock Eastern, followed by at 10:30, number 16, Ted Williams. We're getting pretty big now when we go Magic and Ted back to back on Friday night, so hope you can join us. Very quickly, Ray Ordonez behind 0-2 to Todd Stottlemyre. Ordonez, Rogers, and Henderson here in the 5th inning. And Stottlemyre blows him away. Strikeout number 4 for Todd Stottlemyre.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night. 3 straight fastballs, sets up on the outside part of the plate, threads the needle out there again. Todd looked like he's getting sharper to me with his control, especially with his fastball.
Routine grounder to short. Womack easily to Colburn, and Rogers is gone. And Ricky always takes his time getting in the box. After Rogers trots back to the dugout or walks back, Ricky will take extra time. This is called, oh, wait a minute, there's a rosin bag, and let me get that pint, the donut. Wait a minute, the sock is, let me just scuff my heels a little. He's not going to the plate in a New York minute. I think Shea Stadium will be jumping right for Game 3 and possibly Game 4. Hadn't been in the postseason in 11 years.
I was talking to Al Leiter last night, and he was talking about some of the games they played there during the year. They didn't play there with a packed house.
Right. Well, you know what'll happen. It'll be loud enough that you won't notice the planes.
Yes, that is exactly true.
Friday night and Saturday afternoon, if they have it.
And as you say, from the opening ceremony until the last pitch, they never let up. And I still believe in '86, that was a big reason that those fans, they were so loud in that last inning when we were able to score those runs. Mookie got that ball by Buckner. Whether we believed it or not, they believed it.
The Mets have not won a playoff series since Mookie Wilson right there and Ray Knight were in the ballpark.
Yes, sir.
Is this an omen that you guys are together in this first round?
Yeah, very well may be.
Did you have to bring that up?
Oh, yeah. Hey, every chance I get.
Why not? Mookie and Ray together again. The Mets trying to move on to the postseason, but the Diamondbacks have other ideas. And Stottlemyre is high, trying to go a 1-2-3 inning.
Well, Ricky's had so much success against Stottlemyre because Stottlemyre has gone to the fastball. There it drops down, but here he's in a perfect situation, 2-2, to go to that slider, which is his best pitch, and which is, I think, the most vulnerable pitch for Ricky.
Well, you remember this, Ray?
Oh, yeah. I want you to look how slim this number 22 is. Look how slim this guy is. Oh, man. I've gained about 20 pounds since then. You gained about 4.
Hey. My ex-partner, Ray Knight. You did look slim.
I was slim, man.
What are you saying now? If you were running that now, that
I might not have made it.
Dewey Evans had a shot at the plate?
Dewey Evans thrown me out.
After that plate blocking instruction by Buck, you know, we could have ringed that. At any rate, it's good to see you two guys together again. Ricky, a little looper. Colburn back. He's not going to get it. So Henderson, who did not get a hit but walked twice and scored twice last night, has 2 hits in this game. And he's stolen a base all 3 times in this series he's been aboard. With 2 out, do we just assume he runs? Or with the way Alfonso's swinging the bat, no?
I wouldn't assume it. I think that Alfonso swinging the bat well probably does not have any effect on what he's going to do. Ricky's the type of guy that gets over there and he runs when he feels like he's got to jump. I guarantee you Bobby's not going to put a hold on, because that's a big part of the Mets' game plan, is to run when they get a chance. But they also don't run foolishly.
Alfonso grounded to second, flew out to right. 25 years of age from St. Teresa, Venezuela. There goes Ricky. Breaking ball, forget it. 4 stolen bases. I mean, Sinet was wide. Don't even do it.
Well, Buck shaking his head there. Now, there may have been a directive there. There's 5 directives that you give as a manager. You look at the great jump here. I mean, there's no chance. He can stand up on this. And the first is the hold, meaning that you come to your set, hold the ball. Second is you step off. Third, slide step. 4th, pitch out. And then the 5th is throw over. Buck has those choices on every pitch, and that's what you see when they touch their hat, their nose, their ear, giving that sign to the catcher, and then catcher relaying it to the pitcher. Shaking his head there makes me believe that he made some type of directive, like a pitch out or a slide step, and they did not do it.
Stottlemyre thought that he gave a little extra look to.
That pitch is right down the middle. That pitch is right down the middle. I don't know what happened. That's just one of those deals where Wally Bell blinked. I mean, this ball's right down the middle. Catcher sets up away. That ball's right there. That ball just splits the middle. He may have called it high, but it was a backup breaking ball is what it was, a slider. Same pitch that he threw Ricky Henderson that he fought to right field. Not getting on top of that slider. Might get Buck in here to talk about that, because last couple of sliders I've seen have been real flat Frisbee-like.
Chopped wide of third base.
Ray, the big thing about the slider with Stottlemyre, I think the at-bat that, well, we take a look at Ricky's lead here and watch. He never stops his feet going, and Stottlemyre never stopped him. And as soon as Todd made his first move toward the plate, Ricky was off and running. And Buck Showalter, as you saw, was a little bit upset that they haven't at least thrown over there a little bit more on Ricky.
2-2 the count to Alfonso. The Mets trail at 3-1 here in the 5th. Henderson at second with 2 out. Foul back. Will do it again.
Buck, what's your thought about the slider?
Well, I think Stottlemyre tried to come up with something in the Ricky Henderson at bat, and the pitch that he hit into right field was a hanging slider. He got his hand underneath it, and it was flat. And I think you're right. He needs to get his hand back on top and get a little more tilt on that slider. And I think he's grinding a little bit right now, trying to make sure he strands that run out there at second base. This is when you've got to relax and try to throw it a little easier, not a little harder. That was better there. You could see a little more tilt on the slider.
Yeah, that ball definitely had a little bit of north-south action there as opposed to just being flat. We're going to look at it again. Buck's talking about his hand over the top of the ball.